Hey, what's going on? Today, I want to talk about the number one mistake I see couples making in conflict. Now, conflict's inevitable. Every relationship has it, and it's actually the way we get to know each other and grow closer to each other, so we shouldn't avoid conflict. And many of us, when we get into conflict, obviously we want to be right. I'm passionate about my side, which is why I'm trying to argue you into seeing my side in this conflict, which makes sense. But I see a lot of couples using one simple phrase over and over again, and they're hoping that this phrase will help the other person see their side. But what I've found is it's both irrelevant and unhelpful to the discussion when you use this phrase, and probably hurts you more than it helps you. So in this video, we're going to talk about that one phrase and why I think it should be eliminated when we're in conflict. That's today on Relation Shots. Hey, welcome to Relation Shots. My name is Eric Wooten. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome to the place to get practical relationship advice that actually works in your relationship. If you've not already done so, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss upcoming videos. If you want a free guide to intimacy, click the link in the description area below. If we can help you in any area of your relationship, we'd love to do that. There's tons of resources in the description area below. Maybe it's becoming a part of our marriage membership and getting access to videos and a community forum, live Zoom Q&As, and all kinds of other stuff. You can check out the links below. So today, I want to talk about one mistake I see couples making over and over and over again when it comes to conflict in their relationship. And it's one simple phrase. Now I'm going to share this phrase with you, and remember, I'm your friend. This is a judgment-free zone, but be honest here, show of hands. How many of you have ever used the phrase, how would you feel if, fill in the blank, in an attempt to get the other person to see your point of view? Really, we're trying to get them to step into our shoes. So how would you feel if I talked to you like that? How would you feel if I was talking to a girl on Instagram the way you were talking to that guy? How would you feel if I had drinks with my boss at the company dinner the way you did? How would you feel if I made fun of you at dinner the way you made fun of me? And I get it. What we're trying to do is say, put yourself in my shoes for a minute. And how would you feel if I did those things to you? Because we're assuming that they'll realize, well, that sucks. I wouldn't want to feel that way. And since now I know what you're saying, I'll make sure I don't ever do that to you again. But it doesn't always happen. And oftentimes using that phrase actually backfires on you and you lose your whole argument. So I just want to give you two reasons that I think we should completely eliminate the phrase, how would you feel if, from our conversations with our partner. The first one is simply this. We all have different capacities. Yes, we all have different relational and emotional capacities. What may be a big issue to one person may not be an issue to the other person. What may make one person insecure may not make the other person insecure. What may make one person feel disrespected may not make the other person feel disrespected. Because we're all different and we all have different capacities, what impacts one in a certain way may not impact the other in a certain way. Which is why if you use the phrase, how would you feel if, fill in the blank, and that thing does not bother the other person, your whole argument is gone. Single-handedly, it's just gone. Well, I mean, how would you feel if I stayed out till 2 a.m. with my friends and didn't call or text you? I wouldn't care. Argument's over. Well, I mean, how would you feel if I went to lunch with a coworker who is a female? I wouldn't care. I totally trust you. Go for it. Argument's completely gone. Well, I mean, how would you feel if I made fun of you like you did in front of everybody at dinner? Me personally, I wouldn't care. I love it when people make fun of me. It's like my love language. It's like 6th love language. I think it's funny. I like it when people joke with me. So that would be a bad argument for somebody to make with me. I'd be like, it's cool. Make fun of me next time. So the problem is when we're using that phrase with somebody else and somebody else isn't bothered by the same thing we're bothered by, that phrase holds no weight and does not get the person to actually see how we're feeling, but actually causes the person to go, yeah, exactly, it's not a big deal. And since it wouldn't bother me, quit having it bother you. Right? At the end of the day, that's not what we're trying to do. We all have different capacities. Our family of origin, past relationship wounds, childhood drama, our personalities. We all are bothered by different things. So using the argument, how would you feel, is irrelevant if the thing you're trying to get them to understand doesn't actually bother them. So one reason it makes no sense to use the phrase, how would you feel if, in a conflict, is because we all have different capacities. The second reason is relationships were not meant to be this tit for tat. What's good for you is good for me, and do unto others as you have them do unto you. Listen, it's not meant to be that. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect and care and consideration for each other. My goal in the relationship should be to care and be considerate of my wife, and when there's things she needs or she needs me not to do, I should be considerate of that, and I should not want to do those things simply because they bother her. It should not be a thing where, listen, because she gets bothered when I do a certain thing, now she shouldn't be able to do that same thing either, because, quote, that would be fair in the relationship. I did a whole video on why fairness doesn't work in relationships. So to get into that kind of argument is, now I'm going to say she needs to do things on my behalf because I'm doing these things on her behalf, which could also lead us down a whole nother road, which means I'm not going to do stuff for you simply because I don't expect you to do stuff for me, because that would be fair. So I don't need affection, so I'm not giving you affection. I don't really care about eating, so I'm not worried about cooking or providing food for you. Right? I don't need you to call me at 2 a.m. to let me know where you're at, so I'm not going to text you all day. Right? And we get in this place where now I'm not doing, listen, I don't ask you to do my laundry, I ain't doing your laundry. And so now we get in this place where we're not doing stuff for each other simply because I don't need you to do it for me. And it's tit for tat. Listen, at the end of the day, relationship is not simply focused on reciprocity. Whatever you do for me, I'll do for you, and what you don't do for me, I'm not going to do for you. A relationship should be built on consideration, because I'm considerate of you and I care about you. If there's things that are important to you that may not be important to me, I'm going to do them for you because I care about you. And if there's things that bother you that don't bother me, I'm not going to say, well, it doesn't bother me, so get over it. I'm going to say it bothers you, so I'm going to work on not doing the things that bother you. That's called being considerate. That's what a relationship should be about. So I think we should eliminate, how would you feel if? And in place of that, why don't you tell your partner the specific behavior that you need to address and how it negatively impacts you, period. For instance, when you go out with your friends and stay out till 2, I worry about you. Do you think maybe you could text me once or twice while you're gone? You're addressing the behavior that bothers you, and you're asking for something that they might be able to do for you. You're being specific about it. Hey, when you talk to your ex-boyfriend, it makes me insecure about our relationship. So is there any way you could stop doing that or limit the frequency or whatever makes sense in this context? Obviously, this is a whole different video talking about what kind of conversations and how recent is the boyfriend and do they, but you get the point. There's something that's bothering me, so I'm letting you know why it's bothering me, and I'm asking you to do something. Would you please not use me as the butt of your joke when we're out to dinner with friends? It hurts my feelings, and it makes me not feel safe with you. Do you think you could avoid doing that? So instead of this, how would you feel if, I'm telling you, when you do this, this is how it impacts me, and could you make a change or adjustment for me? That's called a healthy relationship. So be specific about the behavior and how it impacts you, and ask for what you desire. Don't use the how would you feel if defense, because if they don't care, then you lost your whole argument. Now, a healthy relationship should be one where we care about how our behavior and attitudes impacts the person that we're in a relationship with. If that isn't the case in your relationship, we're talking about a whole nother video. I actually have done a whole video on what it really means to love somebody. You can check that out. But that's a whole different conversation. If somebody just does not care about their behavior impacting you, then what we've just been talking about today is irrelevant. This is a whole different issue. But in a relationship where there is some level of mutual consideration and respect and love and care, I'm going to encourage you to eliminate how would you feel if, and replace it with, when you do X, it makes me feel Y. Do you think you could change Z? Try that approach instead. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. about maybe how this has backfired for you when you said, how do you feel if, and they go, I wouldn't care, and then you didn't have anything else to say. Drop a comment below. Love to talk with you about it. If we can help you in any area of your relationship, check out the links in the description area below. And until next time, I'll see you right back here on Relationshots.